Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to some more Eternal gameplay, where today we're going to be trying out a deck called Heart of Darkness. This is the most recent update posted by Childroland, probably mispronounced that, on Eternal Warcry. This is the deck that in the last video I'd mentioned I'd been seeing a lot on the ladder, so I figured we'd give it a try. Sort of an amalgam of two already established archetypes, Praxis mid-range and Xenon mid-range / Big Xenon along those lines. Let's go ahead and look at the list and see how this is being combined. It's running one Dark Return to get units back out of the void, also buffs them a little bit. For Seek Power, for faction fixing, which this deck needs a lot of, as its faction requirements are very stringent, though with all of the dual powers, it's probably shouldn't be too much of a problem, we'll see. 4 Torches for removal or damage to our opponent's face. 1 Blistering Wasp. Now I looked at an earlier version of this, and the one change that I could see off the bat is that they had gone down 1 Blistering Wasp, it ran 2, and up 1 Purify because it had run 3, so apparently testing has changed those numbers a little bit, but it's a good blocker in the early game. Just keeps most things from getting through. Flying helps it block basically everything that's not unblockable. 4 Purify to silence and or kill things. 4 Temple Scribe to let us draw through our deck a little bit better while gaining us a moderate amount of life and also serving as potential blockers. 4 Ion the Abductor. This is one of the key linchpin cards in the Xenon decks. 3 cost, 3/3 with Lifesteal and Ambush. You can ultimate it by paying 8 to silence a unit in your void and play it with +3/+3. 3 Banish. Kill an enemy unit or relic with cost 4 or less. 3 Reliquary Raider. And off the bat, this is the one thing that I have an issue with. I really would like the deck to have a 4th Reliquary Raider. It's a very good card. I've been very happy with it in Praxis so far, but maybe there's just not room in the deck for a 4th one. If I were going to make any changes to this at all, which I never would before actually playing the deck, then probably fitting in a 4th Reliquary Raider would be high on that list. 3 In Cold Blood. Kill an enemy unit. If it was Justice, the enemy player discards each copy from their hand and deck. They can't leave the void. You lose all Justice influence. Now, we're not going to be losing Justice influence, and while this is slow, it's one of the best ways to deal with recurrent Justice threats such as Mokto. 4 Sandstorm Titan. Kind of ubiquitous in any deck that's running time. A 5/6 with Endurance that makes other units unable to fly. 4 Statuary Maiden. A 4 cost 2/4 with Deadly. Enemy units can't entomb or revenge, and when an enemy unit dies, transform it into a 2/2 Cudgel and draw it. So this also helps to stop graveyard shenanigans while potentially giving you a way to grind out opponents who are also mid-range. 4 World Bearer Behemoth. A 5 cost 6/7, which is absolutely enormous for that cost. With Overwhelm, when it attacks, play 1 random power card from your deck, then increase this ability by 1. One of my favorite cards from the Dusk Road, honestly. 4 Heart of the Vault, one of the best cards in Praxis. A 6 cost 6/6 with Warp. Summon, deal 2 damage to an enemy, draw a card, and reduce its cost by 2. And at the very top of the curve, well, sharing the top of the curve, I guess you could say, 3 Predatory Carnosaur, 6 cost 6/6 with Killer. The power base is 3 Fire Sigils, 4 Time Sigils, 3 Shadow Sigils, 4 Crest of Impulse, 4 Seat of Impulse, 3 Crest of Chaos, and 4 Seat of Mystery. Looks very interesting. I'm excited to see how this deck does. Let's do it. Alright, well, we've got powers to for sure cast the Sandstorm Titan, and I guess we've got early interaction. This is definitely not the best hand I could imagine with this deck, but we're going to keep it and see how it goes. If we're against aggro, it seems like a hand that could be pretty good. And we are, except Yeti's kind of hard for us to interact with. Let's go ahead and get our scout going first. Probably do want a Statuary Maiden. So hopefully they'll play some things that we can torch prior to turn 4. And not just katana up an Aegis unit and beat us in the face with it. I would prefer not to have to spend 2 torches to get rid of that. We'll see what is forthcoming this turn. Alright, yeah, we're going to kill that. Sad to use 2 removal spells on it, but I did not want to take 6 in the face every turn while letting them get a war cry. So, we want to go for a fire here. Go ahead and play that, and hopefully we're in a decent position at this point to start taking over the game. Still going to be kind of low, thanks to the charge on Champion of Fury there. Alright, we'll go with that. We're going to go with Sandstorm Titan. We could have played Statuary Maiden, but Sandstorm Titan is unable to be exhausted or permafrosted, which I think is important at this point. They do play Cinder Yetis and Permafrosts, so we can block here to prevent the most damage. If they have a torch, we'll lose this, but I think it's important to do that and not get too awfully low. Yep, there's the Cinder Yeti we were talking about, and they didn't kill our Sandstorm Titan, which is awesome. So now we have a couple of options. We can go with Behemoth, we can go with Statuary Maiden to try to get some cudgels, we can go with a Flashed In Ion to gain some life as a surprise move. As much as I like World Bearer Behemoth, I think we're going to go with Statuary Maiden. Cudgels seem extremely important at this juncture. Could have attacked too, but I would rather not trade on offense. Well, there's an answer to that, so maybe Behemoth would have been better, and we are going to trade on defense. Maybe I should have attacked? Probably should have attacked. Yeah, probably should have attacked on second or third thought. But we have Behemoth now. Next turn we can Flash In Ion, potentially start gaining some life. And that is the game. Yeah, we should not keep this hand. If we had a time power source there, I would have been tempted, as that would have meant potentially being able to cast our draw creature. Alright, Sabotage. Lost a Banish there. Let's go with this and not let them know that we have fire. And then we're going to go ahead and seek for our third. Well, maybe we don't want to seek for our third time influence. Maybe we want to go for our second shadow. Yeah, that's what we want. Because Ion is lower on the curve than Heart of the Vault. Alright, looks like Argenport aggro or mid-range. We'll go with that. We really have nothing else to do, so we'll pass. Our decision next turn is whether we want to try to Flash In Ion and block, or just play Reliquary Raider to try to draw some cards. They're stuck on 2 power, so I think we're going to go the Flash block route. Well, unfortunately they hit their 3rd power. And that is even more unfortunate. So we're not going to be blocking that. We'll still Flash Ion in, as the life gain from attacking is going to be quite important for us. We'll play Statuary Maiden here, attempt to block. Hopefully they don't have a Slay. They do, though. Alright, so very touch and go at this point. Aegises are being a problem for us. So, unfortunately we don't have an undepleted power. Let's go ahead with the Crest. We definitely want that so that we can play Heart of the Vault next turn. Let's attack, buffer our life total. And we could Dark Return this. I think that's actually what we're going to do. We'll play Reliquary Raider and Dark Return our Statuary Maiden. We're actually planning to cast the Heart next turn, but I think being power efficient on this turn is going to serve us well as the game goes on, hopefully. Alright, Unseen Commando. I think we're going to take 6. I would like to draw a card. And if they block here, then we can Heart of the Vault and kill that. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Awesome. That is exactly what I was hoping for. Seed of Mystery is not exactly what we were looking for, but we'll take it. At least we didn't have to draw it during our draw step. Yep. When they finally hit whatever this has been war crying onto, we may be in some trouble. That helps an absolute ton. Let's attack and see what we draw first. Torch is fine. Alright, hopefully they don't have a Finest Hour here. And they don't. Awesome. That should put us in good stead for the rest of this game. Well, another Paladin, so now we know what they were war crying onto. So, we could pop this and then in Cold Blood it, or we could just in Cold Blood that. I think it's better to get rid of this, though. Let's us swing out. Then we'll Seek Power. Just go ahead and grab a fire. Doesn't really matter at this point. Thins our deck of power a little bit so that the draw is more likely to be useful here. That's an excellent draw. Let's just clear their board. They shouldn't be running Harsh Rules in a deck of this configuration, but you never know, they could be. Alright, got there. Not really surprising, both mid-range Praxis and mid-range / Big Xenon have decent matchups versus aggro if they can get out of the gates pretty good, so not surprising that we were able to overcome both of those decks. Ooh! Oh, wow. Double upgrade. Awesome. Let's see what has been given us in those 2 packs that we so luckily obtained. Sleepless Night, looks like that's one I already have as the stone up there started glowing. And Katra, I think we've got 4 of those already too, and we do. Alright, Harvest and Shiftstone though, helps to make other decks in the future. Alright, this is an awkward hand. We can't for sure play this on turn 2. We are on the play. I think we need to mulligan this. It's very iffy too. Would very much like to draw one of those. Good. Yeah, let's keep that on top. We are short of any shadow at present, but if we can resolve this and start attacking with it, that will help tremendously. Don't know how likely that is, but that's our path at present, unless something else presents itself. Oh, wow. Are they just running these for scry purposes? Wouldn't be surprising. Alright, let's hope we can get at least one attack off here. Alright, so time is for sure something that they're wanting in the deck. The fire could be just off sigils for the scout, and we didn't get a draw, but I think we still attack. We'll go with this. And I think we'll wait as far as removal goes. We do desperately need a second shadow. Looks like we're up against a temporal control build. We will not block that. At least not for now. or not kill that for now. Alright, that helps. Seek power. I do think we want a seek power. That will allow us to get our second shadow. These decks don't run a ton of units. Let's go ahead and kill this while they only have one power up and then continue to attack. Want to save our Purify for potential silence needs. I don't really know how these decks have evolved, as I haven't played any temporal control builds in quite a while. Seemed to lose steam very quickly. Back in December it was awesome, and then towards the middle of January started to just not be very good anymore. Let's go with this, get our second shadow. We'll attack. And then we'll World Bearer. And then we've got lots of options next turn. Heart of the Vault, Ion the Abductor, In Cold Blood, Purify. Just lots of stuff to be doing on 6. Alright, Vanquish. This is probably a really bad matchup for this deck, as I remember the temporal builds generally preyed pretty hard on mid-rangey decks. There are just so much, there's just so much removal in them. I guess we do go for Heart. Pop that Aegis. Get a cheaper World Bearer. Need to be cognizant of not overextending too much, because this deck is almost certainly playing 4 Harsh Rules. Yep, there's Harsh Rule number uno. Alright, so I think we go with these. Start off with the Temple Scribe. Yep. Go with that. Would love to get an attack or two in with our World Bearer. Even if it didn't manage to deal damage for some reason, I would love to get more power out of our deck. Need to try to hold off on Ion until we can play it, and then ultimate it on the next turn, so that we get even more threat recursion. Alright, Harsh Rule number 2. Dark Return. Yeah, I'm into that. Let's grab Heart of the Vault. Get some more card advantage going on. Alright, Cold Blood is not likely to be too awfully useful in this matchup, but you never know what they're running. Hopefully we are running them out of removal for our big stuff. Only 2 Harsh Rules could be left, though they could have recursion in the deck. That is very possible. Let's start with an attack. Yep, Island's Choice, sure. Alright, let's see what's on top, shall we? Banish. That is even less likely to be useful than in Cold Blood. I think we're going to go with Ion and potentially the ultimate, so we'll just pass for now. Alright, well, they have a handful of cards. As I said, really not expecting to win this game. Eventually, they're going to find their temporal mastery, start channeling the storm on us, and we're just going to die. Let's ult this, get our biggest threat, and fingers crossed for no Harsh Rule. Probably a Find the Way they just drew there with Echo. Alright, Harsh Rule number 3. Yep, there's Find the Way. That's what I expected. Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll go with Carnosaur since it does more damage. Doesn't really matter what we get there. There is the temporal distortion, not mastery. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it temporal mastery, but, you know, there it is. And now all of their sorceries are instants. Well, regular spells are fast spells, mixing my game terminology there. Seek power, sure. Do definitely want to thin our deck out as much as possible at this point. Try to draw a bigger density of threats. And our removal is so useless against this deck. Yep, drawing all the cards, they're bound to find a channel to storm eventually. At which point, the game's probably over, because they'll just channel into channel into channel and we'll be dead. Stronghold's Visage does help them to stay alive. They can cast all the spells on their turn that they want, and then Temporal Distortion is just going to give them their power back on our turn too. This deck, though, tends to have really bad aggro matchups, which is what made me stop running it. Yep, there's the Channel the Tempest. And now we're effectively doing no damage. They're gaining 2 life every turn in the form of 1 life and 1 armor from Stronghold's Visage. If we don't draw something fairly soon, the game is just going to be over. And which they're drawing way more cards than we are, so even that probably won't be enough. Channel our face for 10. Alrighty. Well, we're not going to keep grinding against this too awfully long. If they manage to deal with our board here and don't just outright kill us fairly soon, we're just going to concede, because there's no use banging our head against the wall when there's no hope of victory at this point. We'll give it one more turn and then we'll scoop it up. Yep, Sword of the Sky King is definitely game over. Good game, my friend. This hand is a bit too slow. We need some low drops. We're not even guaranteed to hit a 4th power to play our 4 drops, so let's redraw. That's a bit better. Yeah, quite a bit happier with this hand. We've got early plays, we've got fixing. Torch, okay. Well, we definitely want to go with the scout first. Banish. I'll keep that. I suspect with this avatar that they are a moderately aggressive deck, though maybe that's fallacious. Friendly Wisp is something we do want to deal with. So let's seek power. We want a 2nd shadow at this point. Let's kill that. If they're on Elysian, then they could go with the Frog Prince next turn and trigger that to draw cards, which we don't want to happen. Looks like they may be mono time though, which is a bit less of a problem, I suppose. Let's plan on flashing in Iron and blocking this thing. Hopefully they'll attack with it. There's an Obelisk. Luckily, Banish can deal with that if we need it to. Alright, missing a power there is unfortunate. I think we'll go with the Blistering Wasp at this point. Opponent is down to 3 cards in hand, which does speak well for our chances, just depending on if we can get our power to the point that we can start fighting back here. Right, we're going to attack with both of these. If they block here, we'll finish it off with a Purify. Alright, well, they're cognizant of that. We can still kill it with a Banish if we want to, but we're just going to pass for now. If they don't present us with a good target for Banish, we may kill this Obelisk this turn. Friendly Wisp, we can deal with that on our turn with a Purify. We're not going to block. I want to see if they cast anything else after combat. They don't. Let's get rid of this. Alright. Well, I'll give them a chance to block before we spend a spell to kill that. If they block, we'll just deploy the Reliquary Raider. They didn't. I would rather they not draw extra cards if we can prevent it, so let's do that. Yeah, Sandstorm Titan, so that was a good call. We need an undepleted power here. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. Guess we go with this and just sit back for the moment. It's going to be really disappointing here if we just don't ever draw a fourth power and then succumb, as we are in a good position if we do. Yep, no blocks. Depending on what we draw, we may just suicide this in for the card draw, trying to draw into our power drops. Alright, another Curator, sure. We are far away from ultimating that. Alright, so what we're going to do here is attack with this and this. Hopefully they'll block this with the Sandstorm Titan, then we can kill it. But either way, I think we're fine. There's our fourth power. Alright, well, that's much better for them, but we did draw our fourth power, so we're not too disappointed. And now, I think we're going to go with Statuary Maiden. Hopefully they don't have another silence effect. We can, in cold blood here next turn, start churning out cudgels. Alright, also prevented attacking due to the deadly nature of the maidens. Another Ion. At this point, I would rather just draw more power, to be honest. Let's do that. Grab ourselves a cudgel. And then we'll start attacking with that thing. Scorpion Wasp, sure. We'll trade here. It gets rid of our cudgel production, but at least we get another cudgel. And we're in fairly decent position going forward. We still need a third time to play our Behemoth, but we have a Sandstorm Titan in hand. And ours will be bigger than theirs thanks to Stone Cudgel. Alright. And they're using the killer, so awesome. Alright, yeah, this is definitely the play here. Dawnwalker, well, we have the answer to that too. Let's lead off with a Temple Scribe. Banish. We want to kill this first. And then we're going to set back this turn. We're not going to swing in, not yet. We don't want to waste our cudgel at this point either. They have removal. I mean, it does look like they're mono time, but that could not be the case. They could have just not hit their second faction yet. Go with that. And now we're going to attack. Hopefully they'll try to multi-block to kill this. In that case, Banish will kill this and we'll blow them out. They didn't. Looks like they're smarter than that. Go for Behemoth in that case. Alright, looks like they are flooding out. And Screw does tend to beat Flood, so... Alright, good game. Okay. I actually think this hand is okay to keep. We've got a third turn Raider. We're on the draw. Yeah, we're gonna try this. Depending on what we draw, we'll probably need to seek power for a Shadow straight off, since that's what we have in our hand starting off. Torch 2 though. Yeah, I think we do want to go for a Shadow. Heart of the Vault on top. Would rather have seen a power there, but not much we can do. Alright, I guess we'll play our Shadow and pass. Crown of Possibilities, so this is almost certainly a Clockroach deck. C3, as much as I would like to play that, I think we need to get rid of the Crown, so let's do that. That's what gives that deck its legs. And hopefully we will draw a 4th power here.
It's written right here.
We did not. Alright, well, Reliquary Raider it is, and fingers crossed to be able to actually attack and draw a card with it. At this point, I would love to draw a Fire Sigil, even if it's, or a Fire Power rather, even if it's depleted. Would still turn on our Torch and Purify. Devoted Thurge. Alright, well, we're kind of priced into killing this and then trying to draw into some more powers. And that is not what that is. Hopefully it's getting us closer to our 4th power, though. Yeah, we're losing this race at present, but hopefully the card draw will get us through. That is unfortunate. However, we finally got a 4th power. Yeah. Let's do that. We definitely want that. Then I think it is well worth it to use 2 spells to be rid so that we can attack and draw. And now we should be in decent shape going forward. Do still need to get a 6th power as well as a 3rd fire so that we can play Heart of the Vault. But perhaps World Bear Behemoth can help with that. Yep, getting pecked to death by Temple Scribes here. Marin Camel, okay. Well, got that. Let's play this pre-combat. Just in case they're tempted to block with this, which I doubt they would be. They've got a 0-3. Still never hurts to try. Alright, we'll pass. This should hold everything at bay if they don't have removal. And I think the first target of our torch has got to be this camel. It's gaining them lots of life, which is prolonging how long they can stay in this game. Right, another camel. Okay, so I think we'll go Seek Power. Grab, sure, a Shadow. We'll play this and kill one of these, which will net us a Cudgel, which we're going to play on the Reliquary Raider so they can't triple block and kill it. And then we'll swing with both. And I think we're also going to purify this camel. And we're not going to play the Cudgel on this turn. We'll wait till next turn to see exactly what survives, so that we don't just throw this into a trade with them if they have a removal spell. Mask of Torment. Okay, so this is amalgam of the Crown of Possibilities and Mask of Torment. So that girl needs to die. I would love to play this off the top. I just don't think we can risk them getting a way to gain life next turn and triggering her. So we're going to cold blood her just right off the bat. And then since we don't actually have the power to play anything else, we're just going to suit our stuff up. Alright, we should be in decent shape to win this game now. 2 Mask of Torment's not really helping them at this point. Kinda surprised they're still attacking us, because even though they're ahead on life total now, they're not going to stay that way for long. Let's go ahead and scout before we play our heart. We'll bottom that. Go ahead and kill one of these for additional cudgel damage here. We'll throw that on the raider and attack. And this game is most definitely over now. I don't see any way in the future that they can draw any series of cards that's going to get them back into this. I mean, even if they manage to get to 20 and play the Tormentor, I don't think that's going to do it for them. Let's do this. Grab a fire. We'll play this. We'll Carnosaur and kill the Thurge. Go ahead and suit up the Raider with that Cudgel, just to kind of even out damage as much as possible here. Even more Cudgel goodness incoming. Just pass the turn at this point. And that is the game. Awesome. Whoop. Finally hit diamond. Awesome. Unfortunately, lately, just so many games going on that I haven't been able to grind any one game as much as I would like to. There's only so many hours in the day. Yeah, we cannot keep this. This is much more like it, though. As much as I would like to play this turn 1, I think we're going to go seat into Time Sigil so that we can play Temple Scribe on turn 2. And then we'll for sure be able to play Reliquary Raider turn 3 unless we draw something better. Ooh, another Temple Scribe. Alright. Alright, looks like Rakano aggro here, probably of the plate variety. We'll go with seat. Hopefully can deter this paladin from attacking. Well, Unseen Commando's going to say no to that. No blocks this turn. So now I think we're going to play this instead of this. Let's do our scout first. Yes, indeed, I would like a second Sandstorm Titan. Alright, now we have a little bit more of a deterrent for this attacking. Of course, they could have Finest Hour or Torch to make that moot, but we'll still present it. Or maybe they just don't care. Kind of expect a Finest Hour, but we'll see. No, just a Torch. Okay. Well, hopefully they don't also have a Vanquish in hand. Let's go with Titan.
Don't even think about it.
Alright, Rakano Sheriff. There's several different ways that we could go here. I think we're going to go with Raider into Purify this.
What have we here?
And I suppose we'll attack. Probably should have attacked before we played our Raider, but... Wasn't thinking far enough ahead, just trying to process things too quickly. Alright, well that's a bit of an issue. We do have answers. We've got in Cold Blood to start removing some threats. The question is if we want to remove the 5/5 or remove the Commando. Unfortunate that this is not undepleted. So I think here we're going to go with another Sandstorm Titan and then just sit back. All right. So a torch would stop us from trading with that, but I think we're still going to present that block. And blocking the quick draw one with the silenced one. Okay, so now we're going to trade with both. Well, not trade, but kill both. That's exactly what I was aiming for there. Okay, we'll start off with the Temple Scribe. Seat of Mystery. Ooh, Heart of the Vault on top too. Just don't think we can afford to start getting Statuary Maiden and in Cold Blood online when Sandstorm Titan's doing such a good job of stopping the opponent's flyers from hitting us in the face. Alrighty. So we are a fire off of playing this. I think what we're going to do is Statuary Maiden and try to set up for an In Cold Blood next turn. Right, another Enforcer. That is problematic. Down to 11. They can attack for another 8 next turn. I think the Enforcer is our biggest problem at the moment. So let's go for In Cold Blood on the unexhausted one. Alrighty. I think we'll go Cudgel here, and we've got to start doing some damage or we're just going to get aggroed out of this due to being unable to answer their flyers. Yep, got one more turn. Or, nope, we're dead. That's exactly lethal. Good game, my friend. Very close to actually being in that game. So this is an interesting hand. We can go turn 1 this, turn 2 this, turn 3 this. It's probably bad to keep, but you know what the hey, let's give it a shot. If we draw into the appropriate powers, it'll be really good, and if we don't, we'll just die really fast. Right, still on that plan. Okay, looks like we're up against Praxis tokens. Didn't cast anything else that second turn. We drew a third Temple Scribe, which is kind of funny. Alright, that's not exactly what we're looking for. We may experience the pain of keeping this awful hand. I think what we most want to get now is, we'll block that one, a fire sigil of any type. Depleted, undepleted, doesn't really matter. Will allow us to start torching things. That helps. Let's go for the scout. Yes, we do want that. Even though it's not another faction, will allow us to make a power drop next turn. Alright, obelisk is a problem. So I still think we're going to block and soak up 2 damage. If we had not missed 1 power drop, we would still be in good shape this turn. As it is, we're in less good shape. We'll go for that, and hopefully they won't have removal or a silence effect for it. Alright, block here. Cut their power off. Take a bunch of damage. Get a cudgel, though. I mean, it's all worth it because we got a cudgel, right? Not really.
Safe travels.
Alright, they are presenting lethal. Vanish helps. So we can banish plus torch. Yeah. Shut up. You're very annoying. Yeah, we'll leave you on top. We could potentially come back into this just depending on what they have in hand. Let's banish this. And torch their thing that has the most damage. If they have another rally, we're just dead. Or a torch. Okay, Praxis Displacer.
It's written right
Sure, draw yourself a card. Alrighty. So, let's start with this.
here.
Seek power. It's not going to do it. We can keep ourselves alive with a dark return on a Temple Scribe. Unless they, again, have removal of some sort.
Right here.
We'll play that. We're going to suit this one up. Just see what transpires.
It's written right here.
Right, have to block there. We'll block there. And that is the game. Not going to good game this opponent, as they don't seem to be deserving of the courtesy. Alrighty, well, that was pretty good. I do tend to enjoy this type of decks. I had been playing mostly Praxis mid-range on the ladder up until we tried this. I may go with this for the foreseeable future. We'll see. Anyway, if this is something that appeals to you, the deck list, as always, will be in the description below. I do think I would love to try to fit a 4th Reliquary Raider in. I don't know what I would do that for. Maybe for the Singleton Dark Return at this point. I mean, Dark Return's good, but as a one-of, I'm not really sure. Overall, I was really happy with the way the deck performed when we didn't keep horrible, horrible hands like we did that last game, but you gotta have fun every once in a while. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments, and by leaving a like below, it really does help tremendously. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.